fans, Cammy Saint here again with the post-match view for the most anticipated game of the season. I mean, yeah, let's get into it. Let's get right into it. I mean, it was a fantastic watch. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed myself for the first half. Thought it was a fantastic game. Saints had plenty of chances to go 1-0, 2-0, maybe 3-4-0 up. Just couldn't take the chances yet again, and that's been our major flaw this season, has been taking chances. Yeah, you can say maybe it was a penalty, maybe it wasn't a penalty. You can say maybe Andrew Mariner blew his whistle, maybe he didn't blow his whistle, but we'll get into that. Let's crack on with the review. So, first half, Saints were really, really good. Nathan Tella looked really, really good. We had chances on goal. I mean, there were more chances at our end than there were Leeds, and we should have taken them, and we didn't. Vestergaard's free header went wide. We really should be burying those. I guess the pressure just got to us and we couldn't take our chances. Ralph wasn't happy with the penalty decision. I thought we were very unlucky. If it's not a penalty, then it's simulation. So Nathan Tella should be given a yellow card. Either it's a foul in the box or it's not. It's got to be one or the other. He didn't book him for simulation, so either he doesn't know what he's doing or he doesn't know what way to give it, or there is a conspiracy against us, which I'm not going to say there is, but anyway, we move on. So let's get into the penalty decision. So Nathan Tella gets brought down by Llorente in the box. Now, I wouldn't say there's enough contact there to bring him down, although he does kind of clip his foot with his trailing leg. He does kind of clip him, and he's kind of got his arm across his chest. Perhaps Nathan Tella could have made that look a lot less theatrical. I mean, he kind of Mo Salah'd himself to the ground, which is a bit embarrassing and kind of went against us, but if he'd maybe just shoulder barged into him a bit more and slipped, maybe he could have been a bit more convincing, but it just wasn't, and it was simulation, no yellow card, shambles.
Now, I all know how long VAR checks really take, but I'm just going to show you some live footage I took at the game, and I've sped it up for dramatic effect, but just take a look. Just take a look how long this really takes to do.
And it's been given as a penalty for Southampton. It's going to VAR. Please, please, a bit of luck. Come on, fingers crossed. You're going to stay with me over the VAR check. No, they've not given it. Ah.
So a massive 1 minute 55 seconds that VAR check took. Congratulations to the Premier League for introducing such a flawed, fraudulent system.
Rafinha gets put through on goal. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper basically, and Ori Romeo, one of the slower midfielders in our team, managed to track him all the way back and make probably the best challenge I've ever seen in the Premier League. Just the desire and the passion to get all the way back to make that challenge. He could have fouled him, given away a penalty and got on red card. And that's, honestly, that was what I thought was going to happen. I thought the ref was going to go, foul, red card. They didn't give a penalty, which was fantastic. I think Rafinha was looking for one, even though Romeo got the ball cleanly. Romeo looked good. I think he hurt his ankle, so he's going to be out for some time during that, and that's a massive shame. We move on to the next opportunity. Nathan Tella had a couple of shots at goal, to be fair. I mean, he dribbled through 2 or 3 players, slipping all over the place, and then he squared it right at the goalkeeper. There was another one for Bertrand as well. The ball went over the top, collected it, and it was offside as per, and just finessed it at the keeper as well. Right at the end of the first half. Now, I was watching the game. Of course I was. I was watching the game on my laptop and I was eating my dinner. I'm not gonna tell any lies. I muted it to eat my dinner. I kept glancing over. I was watching like this. I had it on the beanbag. I was looking over. I was like, hang on, we've scored. Dinner out of the way, laptop down, unmute. They didn't say anything about it. They just played on. So I must have missed the general chat. But what it seemed like was Mariner blows his whistle. We take a quick free kick. Chadham scores. And then he blows his whistle again and says, sorry lads, that was just an exhale. That wasn't me actually blowing the whistle. I did blow the whistle, but I didn't blow the whistle, if that makes sense. So sorry if you got confused. Obviously Saints players just baffled by this point. They're fuming, they're rowding around Mariner like, what have you done? Why are you penalising us for this? We scored a perfectly good goal. Embarrassing really. Another poor refereeing display, but did he blow his whistle? Did he exhale through with the whistle in his mouth? I don't know. It's just Mark Dean in disguise. Oh, you Mike Dean in disguise. And then that was the end of the first half. We finished quite strong, 0-0, should be 2-0 up. I mean, Leeds had opportunities as well. I'm not going to tell any lies here either. I had to wash up. I had the Saints game on. Now, it was on adverts. I was like, it's a long half time. I was like, surely there must be surely it must be done by now. I was doing the washing up, you know, scrubbing pans and all that. I was like, I still hear the adverts, what's going on? And then getting texts from my mates like going, when Danny Ings and Minamino come on, we'll start scoring goals. I got a text back going, they're already on, mate. I'm like, really? So I refreshed my laptop and boom, 60 minutes, 1-0 down. I've missed 15 minutes. So I was like, oh, great, okay. So, you know, I missed the first goal, but I've seen it. It was a fantastic finish from Bamford. Literally just simple football. Standing on the last defender, a couple of yards between the two centre-backs, ball through the middle, and he's just bashed it past the keeper. Now, I have a few things to say on this goal. Why can't we do that? Why can't we just do the basics? Why can't we have Danny Ings standing on the last shoulder of the defender, right? You have Nathan Redmond or Che Adams on one defender. You have Danny Ings on the other defender, just on the last shoulder. If you have them between the two, you've got space for a Saints player to run through. I know you've got to, you know, press with the team, and surely you've got to give up the press by now because we're not being able to score chances like that. Teams are coming against us going, just stick a man on the last defender, thread a ball through and you'll score. Because that seems to be the easiest way to do it. And I'm baffled as to why we can't do that, because it's the simplest way to score goals and it put us on the back foot. We were chasing the game ever since then, and it was just downhill Millhouse from that point. So the goal was cleverly taken by Bamford. 6 points in the fantasy team, but obviously as a Saints fan, I'm a bit gutted because we're 1-0 down. Although it was a fantastic watch. You know, if we'd scored 1 or 2 in the first half and then Leeds got one back just after half time, it would have been game on. But we just can't take our chances at the moment. I'm not sure why Danny Ings and Minamino were left on the bench. I thought that was a bit puzzling, and having Redmond and Che Adams start up top, 2 strikers that haven't scored, one of them not even a striker, and you leave 2 of the forwards that are in form on the bench in a must-win game. Bit confusing for me, but maybe Ralph decided actually we tire out in the second half. If we bring on the big guns in the second half when Leeds are de-energised, they might be able to get something with Danny Ings and Minamino on, but that didn't work. That went tits up. Should have started the strongest team and just trying to take in a few of those chances and then just defend what we got. That's what we normally do. Put on a fantastic defensive display. Thought Mohamed Salisu had a fantastic game. He looks like a superb defender. I'm so glad that he started. I called it months back. I said Salisu is going to be a world beater, and he's just superb. He is fantastic. When him and Diallo and Kyle Walker-Peters are all in the same team, we are going to be unstoppable. So it's not all doom and gloom, Saints fans. It's not all doom and gloom. There is a light at the end of the tunnel for us. But anyway, moving on to the second goal. Stuart Dallas, absolutely fantastic finish. It was so good. Outside of the boot, curls it away from McCarthy. He gets it turned into him. Unbelievable finish from Stuart Dallas. And then we're 2-0 down. Again, we're chasing the game. And that was at the 70th minute they scored. So we've been doing it for a long time. We didn't really have many chances. Danny Ings had an opportunity. He dragged it out to the corner flag, a couple of step overs. He hit it with his left boot and it had a bit of spin. And it could have gone top bins. It could have hit the post and gone in behind Mesalia or Semele or whatever the goalkeeper name is for Leeds. And yeah, and it could have gone in. That would have been a fantastic goal and we would all be singing his praises. We're a good team. We need to stay positive and we need to just keep going, because this run of games will come to an end eventually. And we just need to keep going and keep pushing through and just keep the positivity. Anyway, so let's move on to the third goal. So the Rafinha free kick. Fantastic free kick. I mean, I think James Ward-Prowse must have been a bit salty after that went in. So it's 3-0. We didn't really have any chances after that. So let's go through the lineup and do some player ratings. So McCarthy in goal, had a good game, made a couple of good stops. Unfortunately, I still think he needs a rest. To be honest, a week wasn't enough. He needs a game. He needs at least 2 weeks rest. So I'm going to give McCarthy a 6. I mean, not a lot of those you can save. He did try his best, but you know, the best wasn't good enough. But 6 it is, default. Left to right, Mohamed Salisu, fantastic game. Give him an 8. Vestergaard had a good game as well. Nearly scored. I give him a 7. Bednarak did well to fill in at right back. Didn't get overrun as much as I thought. I'll give him a 7 as well. Midfield, Ryan Bertrand. Yeah, he had an alright game, playing left wing most of the time. Can't be a winger if you can't score. I'll give him a 6. In the midfield, Nathan Tella. Yeah, Nathan Tella had a good game. I thought he played really well. Definitely looks like a good player for the future. Thank you, Arsenal. I think Nathan Tella deserves a 7. James Ward-Prowse. James Ward-Prowse had a good game. Probably not as influential as I thought. A couple of good touches here and there. Good passing. Probably give him a 7. Ori Romeu had a good game. Fantastic tackle. Looked like a rocky midfield until he came off. I'll give him an 8. Stewie Armstrong, again, looked really good. Influential player in our team. Underrated as well, as I said all the time. Perfect Scotsman. I'll probably give him a 7 as well. Stewie played well. And then up front, Che Adams and Nathan Redmond. Che Adams played alright, scored a goal before the whistle. It doesn't really count. I think I'd give Che Adams a 6. Nathan Redmond did alright, but not good enough. I'll give him a 6 as well. Moving on to the subs. Gineppo had another fantastic game. He needs to start next week. I think I'll give Gineppo a 7. Danny Ings didn't really do much, didn't really have an opportunity on goal. Perhaps if he did, he might have scored. Probably give Danny a 6. And Minamino didn't really get involved in the action as well. Minamino needs to be starting up top alongside Danny Ings, not in the midfield. Probably give Minamino a 6 as well. Those have been the player ratings. Let's move on to some sort of conclusion. Leeds 3, Saints 0. Fantastic watch for a neutral. Shame there weren't any goals in it for Saints, but we looked like scoring, just hit with some bad luck again. Penalty, no penalty. Whistle, no whistle. If we'd taken a few more chances, we might have got into it. You know, for Everton next on the first. Yeah, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be another tough game for us. Everton are on a thick run of form. They're doing really well. Ancelotti, they just got their new stadium improved. It looks a world-beating stadium. It looks like the new Real Madrid, really, just in blue and white. Anyway, somehow they managed to scrap 500 mil from somewhere to pay for that. Whereas Gal would probably spend it on a holiday to the Maldives or something. But otherwise, Everton next. I'll do a preview for that, potentially this weekend. You know, let's just stay positive, Saints fans. This will come to an end eventually. We will dig ourselves out of this hole and it'll be absolutely fine. Otherwise, this has been Cammy Saint. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great week. I will see you at the weekend. Come on, you Reds. Let's stay positive.